Bonds of Brotherhood. In a quiet neighborhood, where children played in the streets and laughter filled the air, two boys met for the first time. Ahmed, a curious and adventurous boy, had just moved into town. Nour, a kind-hearted and friendly boy, had lived there all his life. Their friendship began with a simple greeting and a shared love for soccer. At the neighborhood park, they kicked a ball back and forth, laughing as they played. From that day on, they became inseparable. They spent their days exploring hidden trails, racing their bicycles down the streets, and dreaming about the future together. As the years passed, their bond grew even stronger. They supported each other at school, defended one another, and often stayed up late talking about their dreams under the night sky. Ahmed and Nour were more than friends. They were like brothers. They made a promise to always stand by each other, no matter what. But as they grew older, life began to test their friendship in ways they had never expected. When high school arrived, things started to change. New friendships, new responsibilities, and different goals began to pull them in separate directions. Ahmed dreamed of exploring the world beyond their small town, while Nour felt happy staying close to home. At first, their differences seemed small, but over time, they grew into silence and distance. One evening, as a storm rolled in, Ahmed packed his bags to leave for the city. Nour stood outside his house, torn between pride and sadness. Should he let his best friend go without saying goodbye? Just before Ahmed boarded the bus, he heard his name being called. Turning around, he saw Nour running toward him, out of breath and soaked from the rain. "No matter where you go, we're still brothers," Nour said, his voice steady yet emotional. Ahmed smiled and grasped his best friend's hand. "Always." With that, they parted ways, knowing that true friendship could withstand time, distance, and even silence. Years later, Ahmed had built a successful life in the city. The fast-paced streets and endless opportunities had shaped him into a hard-working and ambitious man. But no matter how far he went, he often found himself thinking about his childhood, the laughter he had shared with Nour, and the friendship that had meant everything to him. Back in their hometown, Nour had become a well-respected member of the community. He ran his family's store and mentored the younger kids, teaching them the values of kindness and friendship. Though he was happy, he often wondered how Ahmed was doing and wished they could talk again. One summer, Ahmed finally decided to return home. As he stepped off the train, a wave of nostalgia hit him. The streets looked the same, but time had changed the faces of old neighbors and the buildings they had once played near. Walking through the town, Ahmed found himself outside Nour's shop. Taking a deep breath, he pushed the door open. Nour looked up from behind the counter, his eyes widening in shock before a big smile spread across his face. "Ahmed, I can't believe you're here!" Nour exclaimed, rushing over to hug his old friend. Laughter filled the shop as they sat down and reminisced about their childhood. They talked about their adventures, their dreams, and all the years that had passed. Over the next few days, they rekindled their friendship, proving that true bonds can never be broken. One evening, they sat under the stars, just as they had when they were boys. Nour looked at Ahmed and said, "No matter how far life takes us, some things never change." Ahmed nodded, a deep feeling of gratitude washing over him. "You're right. Brotherhood is forever." And as they gazed up at the night sky, they knew that their friendship had stood the test of time, proving that some connections are truly unbreakable. But life was not done testing their friendship. A few months later, Ahmed received an urgent call. Nour had fallen ill, and his condition was worsening. Without hesitation, Ahmed rushed back to his hometown, his heart pounding with worry. He arrived at the hospital and found Nour lying in bed, weak but still wearing the same warm smile. "You came," Nour said softly. "Of course I did," Ahmed replied, gripping his friend's hand tightly. "I told you, we're brothers." For weeks, Ahmed stayed by Nour's side, helping him through treatments and reminding him of their best memories. They talked about their childhood, their dreams, and how far they had come. Slowly, Nour's health improved, and with it, their bond became stronger than ever. After his recovery, Nour decided to visit Ahmed in the city for the first time. It was a new world for him. Tall buildings, bright lights, and the constant rush of people. But through it all, he realized something important. No matter where they were, their friendship remained the same. Together, they traveled, explored new places, and even started a small business that combined their talents. Ahmed's experience in business and Nour's love for community. They opened a cafe that welcomed everyone, a place where people could gather, share stories, and feel at home. Years passed, and their lives took many turns. But one thing never changed: their unbreakable bond. They grew old together, telling their children and grandchildren stories of their youth, of the days they ran through the streets with laughter and dreams in their hearts. Sitting under the stars once more, Ahmed turned to Nour and said, "We kept our promise." Nour smiled, his heart full. Always. And so, their story became a legend in their town, a story of friendship, loyalty, and the kind of brotherhood that lasts a lifetime.